Hi everyone. I was scrolling on Pinterest a little while ago and I came across this pen of a watercolor resist using rubber cement, and it looked really interesting and very abstract, and I thought I'd give it a try and just see what would happen just for fun. So I went outside and got a piece of watercolor paper, and I did it outside because of the strong smell that the rubber cement gives off. So I went outside to have a lot of flowing air around me, and as you can see, I'm just dipping into the rubber cement and just kind of drizzling it and slinging it all over this piece of watercolor paper. And I did put a piece of waxed paper underneath my watercolor paper just to protect the tabletop. As you can see, I dripped and slung stuff everywhere. But it was a lot of fun just, getting that on the paper. So I've let it dry, and now I'm going to put some watercolor paint on it. So this is what you saw me creating, and you can see it's shiny. It is dry, but it's tacky, okay? And that's the way rubber cement is intended to be, just tacky. So I was just noticing there's little bits of debris, teeny tiny little bits of debris that have gotten stuck in the glue from having it outside to dry. So I wouldn't suggest you leaving it outside to dry. I was even in a screen enclosure, and it still got several little bits. They're not huge and they're not a problem, but if you don't want dust and dirt and stuff like that to stick to this glue, which it will, you might want to bring it inside to let it finish drying out. So I've got my paints out, and I'm gonna just play and put some color down just to see how this is going to look. It's just a fun little playtime for me, and I hope for you. I'm just going to color right over the top of the glue. Now what's going to happen is later I'll be able to remove this rubber cement and we'll have some nice crisp white lines. So that's the hope anyway. Let's see if it works. We'll experiment together. All right, and let's put some more of that over in this area. Okay. All right, and now I've got a darker shade that I'm going to put on as well. And these colors are okay to bleed into one another, and they're not going to cause a problem or anything. So. And I'm going to take a little bit of this out if I can lift that. Yeah, because I want to put another color there. Okay, there you go. So keep that there. There we go. Let's see. I'll go right here. I'm kind of being careful now because the next color that I'm going to use is a contrasting color, and I don't want to make mud. So I'm just being careful to leave some areas that I can use the other color, which is going to be a green, and I think it'll be really nice. So now I'm gonna put the green. I know some of this may turn a little brown where the colors overran into the area there, but I think for the most part it will be okay. I think we'll still see a nice bright pop of color there. I'm gonna turn this around so I can get to this corner. Or this side, I mean. See if we can't just bring that right up next to it. Here we go. Yeah, since it's not wet there, it's not bleeding into it too much, so that's good. Okay, that looks pretty cool. So I'll come back in a few minutes when this is dry, and we'll see how it looks with the glue removed. It's fun. Okay, so I'm rolling off the rubber cement. And it is doing exactly what it should do. It's leaving a nice white area where there's no paint. It's kind of cool. So you can see there how it's nice and crisp. Right, this is looking pretty cool. I love it. After my hand got tired of rolling the glue off, I realized I've got the adhesive eraser that I can use, and it's working out real well too. It gets all the glue residue off of the painting. See, so you can see the areas where it's nice and white. That's where all the rubber cement has been removed, and there's a little bit of the yellow color still here, right in this green area here. And every now and then you just have to pick the glue off of the eraser. But this has really been a fun little experiment, and I'm glad I did it. I might use this in the future for a project. So I think this is really cool. You can feel where any residue is, and you can just run your eraser right over it. This type of eraser, not a regular eraser. But this is an adhesive residue remover. And I do have these available in my Amazon store. If you need one, they're there. They're very inexpensive, and they work really well, especially for this kind of thing. Okay, I think we pretty much got it all. Oops, a little bit right there. Okay. All right. So that is really a cool image. I love this, just the messy, abstract look to it. So I hope you guys will give this a try and do some watercolor resist with rubber cement. So as much as I loved this piece as a whole, I know that it's really busy and it's probably not going to serve me well to use as a whole, but I had a feeling that if I cut it down and use smaller bits of it, I would love it even more than I love the whole. So I scanned it into my computer and printed out a copy, and I made a card using my little watercolor flower that I created last year. And I absolutely love this. I missed a whole area here that doesn't have any green in it, which is really odd for me that I only put 4 because you know I like the odd numbers. But areas like that I feel like are lacking, those times are when you can use like a piece of scrapbook paper. This is washi tape. I actually stuck the washi to a piece of printer paper so that the white would show nice and bright through the in those areas. Otherwise you would see a lot of pink through here. But I absolutely love this, and I knew I would love it more, you know, made into smaller pieces. So I made a card that I love. Now I also made a few other things. I made a sweet little tag, and it's just a stamped owl. He's stamped on cardstock, and I cut him out. And I put a word from the Tim Holtz small talk book on a piece of security envelope, and I punched a circle and just kind of stamped over it with some gray ink using I was trying to grab my sponge, but it jumped away from me. I used a sponge to just, you know, sponge on a little bit of dark areas on the moon there. So I think that looks really sweet, and it was so simple. So then I just stapled on a piece of the green sari scrap, and I got an adorable tag. Okay, and over here I have a little ATC with another little watercolor floral, and I stamped a little tiny butterfly and colored it in with colored pencil, Prismacolor pencil. So, oh, and a tiny piece of the tape that was left over from my card, where I trimmed off the edge, I was able to put down in the corner there, and that kind of brought some of the green, you know, down to the bottom of this card. And then these little guys are just some little washi tapes, strips that I made. They all have a piece of double-sided tape, so all I have to do is peel off the backing, and I can stick those down and use them wherever. So I just wanted to show you guys some fun ways that you can use your painted papers and your fun little experiments like this. And I still have scraps left over from that or that sheet of paper that I cut it into fourths. And so I still have plenty left, and I can also add, you know, some green or even another contrasting color to make this pop more if I need to do that. Maybe my focal point would have some kind of bright green or something on it, you know, like I've got a little piece right here. This is just on printer paper, but you can see how, you know, a pretty little leafy item would look really pretty on that. So Anyway, I kind of thought my owl looked like he was kind of in a bunch of brambles and things. I felt like all those lines back there looked like he was kind of in some shrubs and, you know, little woody branches or something. So I thought that's how my imagination went on my owl card tag there. So anyway, I had a blast and using these things, and I had a blast creating the original piece. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and will also give it a try. Like I had said earlier, give it a try and just play. And yes, it makes a mess, but it's, you know, if you've got some wax paper underneath your paper, you can just wad that thing up and toss it, you know, and it's not going to be a difficult cleanup at all. So anyway, have fun with it, and we will talk to you again soon. See you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.